Hey guys, I'm Elizabeth McCravey, a website designer and business coach for entrepreneurs and your host for the Breakthrough Brand podcast, the show that's all about pulling back the curtain on how to actually build a successful business. I don't skim the surface around here. If you want a deep dive into the nitty-gritty details of what it takes to run a successful business and stand out in a crowd, you're in the right place. After creating a multiple six-figure-a-year website design business in my 20s, I'm ready to share everything I've learned and everything I'm still learning because I believe the keys to building a thriving business should never be a secret. Here you'll find episodes that are actionable, direct, and fun, like friends chatting business over coffee, and a fresh, honest take on the reality of being an entrepreneur. If you're ready to master online marketing, branding, website design, mindset, and business strategy, then this is the podcast for you. It's time to build your breakthrough brand. Let's do this. All right, brand designers, website designers, people who want to be a brand and website designer, this one is for you. So when you're first getting started in your business, it can be absolutely confusing as to what you need to do, right? If you went to college for design, they 100% did not teach you any of the stuff about business and design in college. You also might still be struggling with confidence in yourself that you can do this thing solo. Maybe you're a self-taught designer and that can come with all kinds of doubts and confusion. And again, not help on the business side of things. So first of all, before I get into these three myths, I want to say you've got this. And as a designer myself, you have chosen an amazing, fun, exciting, much needed field to go into, and you are going to absolutely love it. And there are plenty of myths out there about starting your design business, things that you've been told, or maybe you just believe through what you've been experiencing and struggling with so far. And these myths are likely holding you back from really getting going and getting clients and making money as a designer. So I want to bust these myths for you today. These are three big ones that I personally feel like people don't talk about that they're myths. People more so talk about that they're the way things are, or they're things that I struggled with when I first started my business, or I see my customers inside Book.Designer struggle with, all of that. So this is going to help you in growing your design business as you get started. Let's dive into the tips. All right, before we get into these three myths, designer friends, I want to give you something free to help you grow your new or your already existing design business. So I have a free training for you swiped straight from my course, Book.Designer. Legitimately, the training is in the course and I'm giving it to you for free. So the training's on magnetic marketing principles you need to know as a designer. And it's really good stuff. It's how my marketing module inside of the Book.Designer course starts. And you can watch this short training video absolutely for free. It's a really cool video, again, sharing magnetic marketing principles that'll help you as you start to book clients in your design business. And in addition to the free training, you also get a preview of the rest of the course. You can see what it's like. You can see what students are saying. You can kind of click around and see what you'll be able to learn. And then there's another free lesson in there as well, besides this magnetic marketing principle training, which, wow, that's a tongue twister, magnetic marketing. So anyway, go get that though at elizabethmccravey.com/sample. Just type that in, it'll redirect you and you can watch that training. Yeah, and just see a preview of the course. If you're not familiar with Book.Designer, it's a course all about helping you build a successful brand and website design business. And a huge part of that is your marketing, which is why I focus on marketing so much in the course. But that magnetic marketing principles training will really give you a head start. So get that. My gift to you, elizabethmccravey.com/sample. Okay, now let's get into myth number one. We're starting with a bit of a sad myth, okay? One where the truth isn't fun. The other myths are a bit happier, so hang with me for the other ones. But the first myth, if you're a good designer, finding clients will be easy. This is a myth we often believe because we want to believe it, right? But it's false. The truth is you've got to market. Some of the best designers out there are completely broke and not booking any clients. Why is that? Because they have the skill of design, but not the skill of marketing. And I know that really stinks. Again, like it's not what we want to hear. I'm starting out with the myth that's a bit of a downer, but you need business and marketing skills too. And this is true no matter what type of business you're in, if you're a designer or otherwise. So it's not really something you can avoid is basically why I say that. You got to be able to market and sell your services when you are a business owner. And the good news is though, that if you do have design skills, that's obviously extremely helpful and important. It's going to help you in your marketing. But with those skills, I think sometimes we want to believe that like your skills and your portfolio is just going to speak for itself, right? People see the work as excellent and then they'll just book with you because of that. And people will see the work as excellent, which is awesome and good and helpful, but you need more than that. There's more to it than just having great work and having a great portfolio. And something I see so often is someone who's been doing design work for a long time. Gosh, when I combine my time in college freelancing and then my time freelancing before I started my business, I've been doing this for over 10 years, doing design work for clients. And something I've seen over and over again in that time is people who are absolutely amazing at design, way better than me as a designer, having to quit their business because they aren't booking clients. And they think it's because they aren't good at design. They're like, I couldn't do this thing. I wasn't good enough at designing. I had to quit my business, couldn't do it, couldn't get clients, couldn't make it work. And they think that's why, which is so sad because that's not it. Oftentimes they're absolutely amazing at design. They just don't know how to find clients because finding clients is a different skill, completely different, often can feel very unrelated to the art of designing. And so you got to have both. So that's myth number one, that you just need to be a good designer and then the clients will come. And if you need help with this one, I know I talked about it a moment ago, but my course Booked Out Designer is great for this because you have the skill of design, right? You're a great designer. Or maybe you're not a great designer yet, but you're going to be. Booked Out Designer is going to help you with the marketing and business skills that you likely did not learn in your design school or did not learn in your self-taught design courses. It'll help you with getting the business and marketing side figured out. All right, now we're going to move on to more positive myths. So myth number 2, you have to have everything ready to go systems-wise in your business before you book your first client. So I'm here to tell you, that's a myth. You don't have to have it all figured out. You don't have to have all your ducks in a row. You don't have to have your client process figured out. You don't have to have all the fancy smancy back-end stuff done to have that first client. So booking your first clients can be really scary. Starting to work with someone, having someone pay you, it's intimidating. There's a lot of mindset work to be done there. I actually have 2 full trainings inside Booked Out Designer on mindset for this reason, and a mindset life coach who works with our Booked Out Designer students because I'm like, I know that's such a huge issue, no matter how long you've had your design business, but especially early on. But often as designers, we put off starting to get paid for our designs because we keep trying to have all our business ducks in a row. We're like, we think we have to have all these X, Y, Z things figured out before we can start booking clients. So some examples of what that might look like, you might feel like you need the system you're going to take your clients through, that client process for your branding project, completely fleshed out prior to your first client. You need to have the contract perfect. You need to have the whole onboarding system. You need to have the questionnaire perfectly designed. Maybe you think you need to have your exact package suite figured out before you have your first client. Or you need a template designed in Illustrator that you're going to send the final branding in. Whatever it is, you're like procrastinating because you think you need to have all of these things done. Sometimes we're intentionally procrastinating because we're nervous, right? And that's where like some of the mindset work comes in. And sometimes we're procrastinating on accident because we just think like, this is the way it's done. These are the things I need to do. And therefore I can't start pursuing clients yet until I have all this set up. Again, so sometimes it's like, yeah, sometimes it's you're scared. Sometimes it's that you just legitimately think these things are required. Whatever boat you're in though, no matter which thing it is, I'm here to tell you, you don't have to have your whole client process figured out. You don't have to have all the back end things done before your first client. If you do have it all perfectly figured out, if you're like, okay, Elizabeth, I hear you. I don't have to have it, but I'm going to, okay, I'm determined. I want to have it all set up perfectly. Something just to remember, you likely will change large parts of it once you have your first client, because when you are just like mapping it out and creating all these systems and you haven't actually worked with a client yet. It's all just theory. But then when you have someone you work with and you put them through the process, you might realize holes in it, things that didn't work, or you might be like, this is a way I'd rather do it. Whatever it is, you'll end up changing a lot of it. So what I advise is figuring out the whole process with your first client. So focus your energy in your new business on getting the first client. And yes, have a general plan for the process, have a package they are going to be buying, all of that, but just do it and like record what you do and how it goes for next time. So you can like save email templates you send, make that questionnaire and then save it. So you can use it for the next client, all of that kind of stuff. You can save it, the template and processes and all of that. You just don't have to do it prior. Again, you can do some of it, but you don't have to do all of it. It is a myth that's slowing you down, making it take longer to make money in your business, believing that you have to have it all done. So figure it out with those first clients. You've got this. And something too to remember, your first few clients are probably going to be way more gracious about this than you're thinking. Whether or not they know they're your first client, that's a whole nother conversation. But people who are paying you to work with you are way more gracious. They don't even have to know that you're creating the questionnaire for the first time or like the whole system of how things are going. They don't have to know that. And if they did know, they're probably way more gracious than you think. So just go easy on yourself here and focus more first on booking the clients and having all of your ducks in a row before you have that first client. So I hope that one is a bit comforting to you. If you're looking at your business and you're like, oh my gosh, I don't have any of this figured out yet, you don't have to. Just focus on getting that first client. Okay, and our third and final myth, your website needs to be perfect because you are a designer. This is a myth that applies to starting your branding website design business. And oh my gosh, guess what? It continues to apply later because us as designers can feel like our work we do design-wise for our own business has to be perfect because that's what we do, right? Like we're a designer. So of course, like the design stuff we do has to be like amazing. You've got to stop with this one. If you're a designer, oh my gosh, the designing for yourself can feel impossible. Some ways it can feel impossible is one, like you're not limited by what clients can update on their own. So you might be tempted to do like super complicated stuff on your website or within your branding. Maybe you like a lot of different design styles and vibes, like you've done a lot of different looks or in your portfolio or in your design training or for your clients. So you like want to do like all those for yourself and you're not sure which one to do. You're not sure which vibe is your brand. Changing stuff is super easy. So you're wanting to tweak things constantly. Basically, designing for yourself is hard. It can feel impossible, but it's not. You just have to control yourself. You have to control the impulse to change things constantly. And you do this by knowing that you'll probably never feel like your brand and website are perfect. There are always tweaks you can make, again, because you're a designer. You know how to tweak things easily. There's always cool ideas you can add in. And it's fine to add and tweak things, but it does not have to be perfect. And it's never going to be perfect. You're never going to feel, trust me, from years of experience, you will never feel like your website and your branding are absolutely perfect. So don't expect that. And know too, that your own website is not the only thing that speaks to your design skills. It's one of the things. Your portfolio will too, which is definitely something you want to lead with as you build that out. Putting your client work front and center in your website, like that's the thing that can speak to your skill level even more than your own website. So don't obsess over your own site. Yes, you need a website to book your clients and to put your package info and your blog and all that kind of thing. But don't obsess over your website, especially your first site. It's going to grow and evolve so much as your business grows. And in the first year of your design business, you'll probably make tons of changes to your website anyway. So when you get that first site up and running, whatever copy you have on it, whatever packages, whatever's in your portfolio, you're going to be tweaking that so much in that first year. And you'll continue to tweak it again as your business grows over the years, but especially in the beginning. So don't obsess over having it perfect. Just get something up, get it live, and start working on getting clients. It doesn't have to be perfect. So like, don't hold on to that. That's just another form of procrastination when you're believing it has to be perfect. And maybe look too, like, is it more of a mindset thing? That's something else I would ask if you're like not launching your design business because you feel like your site isn't perfect enough. I'd want to ask you, like, is there something else there actually? Like, are you like just scared of starting the business? Are you scared of putting yourself out there? And that's why you're feeling like the brand and website have to be absolutely perfect. So that's the third myth. Those are the 3 myths. I'm going to read over them again, and I have a few questions for you as well. So myth number 1 was that if you're a good designer, finding clients will be easy. That's not the thing that helps you find clients. You got to know how to market yourself. Myth number 2 is that you have to have everything ready in your systems and processes before you book your first client. You don't. You can go through it and figure it out with that first client. Myth number 3 is that your website needs to be perfect and your brand needs to be perfect because you're a designer. That's just not true. You're never going to feel like your brand and website are absolutely perfect. And there are other things that speak to your skills besides what your own website and brand look like. So my question for you, I'm curious, which one of those do you struggle with the most? Do you disagree? Maybe you feel like I'm wrong and one of those isn't actually a myth. Send me a message on Instagram. I'd love to chat about it and hear your take on all this. I think this is a fun conversation of thinking about like, what are things we believe that just aren't true about owning and running and starting a business and all that kind of stuff. So I hope it helps you hearing these myths being busted. You've got this. New designer. If you're a brand new designer listening, you're starting your business, get excited. You're on such a beautiful, wonderful journey. Enjoy those early days. Have fun with it. It's amazing. You're entering into an amazing field. Being a designer is so needed. It's fun work. It's fulfilling. And yeah, it's something people truly, truly need. And if you're a designer, I want to encourage you again, check out that sample I mentioned at the beginning of this episode from my course, Booked Out Designer. And you can learn those magnetic marketing principles to help you in your design business. That'll really give you a head start on doing the necessary work of booking clients so that your business can start generating revenue. And also check out Booked Out Designer. You'll be able to get that like sample of it and get details of it at that link, elizabethmccravy.com/sample. And you can join Booked Out Designer anytime you want and feel ready for it. It is such a holistic course on building a successful business as a brand and website designer or a stationery designer. We have calligraphers, stationery designers, a variety of different kinds of website designers in there. You get this amazing 90-module course. You get our Facebook community where you can ask questions to me and to other designers, and you get coaching calls with me. And it's less than the cost of a college class. Like, it is so worth it. So amazing. The results students are getting in building their business, making more money, becoming profitable as a designer. It's just truly awesome. So you can check that out at elizabethmccravy.com/BOD and then get the sample lessons, elizabethmccravy.com/sample. Yeah, hope this was helpful. I love talking to just you designers specifically on this podcast. So stay tuned for more episodes that are geared just for you guys. And you can scroll back through. There's so many episodes I've done to help you in building your brand and website design business. All right, that's it. Hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Hey, thanks for listening to the podcast today and for staying until the end. I appreciate you being here. And if you enjoyed this episode, then I want to invite you to check out my online course and coaching program for designers, Booked Out Designer. In this program, I teach you how to build a successful in-demand booked out business as a designer. You'll learn everything from the exact experience I take my clients through to things like figuring out your niche, mastering discovery calls, pricing your services for profit, creating contracts that will not cause you legal troubles, and my exact social media strategies to book clients. You even get to watch recordings of me in actual meetings with my actual clients so you can really learn through what you're seeing. We take things you're learning on this podcast and so many topics I never even cover on this show and deep dive into them. So in addition to the amazing course, the course is 9 modules of teaching with over 90 lessons. You get group coaching calls with me and access to an exclusive Facebook community of designers just like you. And fun fact, this isn't one of those kind of Facebook groups where the founder never comments on posts or you never see them in there. You'll find me there all the time, ready to help you out with any business question you have. So to get info on the course and to see when the doors will be opening again, head to elizabethmccravy.com/BOD, short for Booked Out Designer. I hope to be able to coach you and teach you inside of the course soon. And don't forget that you can subscribe to this podcast on Apple Podcasts or wherever you're listening so that you never miss an episode. And a great way to support the show is to leave a rating and review, share it with a friend, share it on social media. All of that will help get the word out. All right, I'll see you again next week.